Oye, mi gente, you're listening to the Red Lips Real Talk podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and everything in between.
You already know. It's time to get real.
Dale. I used to think that there was a window for becoming someone and a right time to find your voice, to build something, to matter. And if you missed it, it was over for you. Some of our listeners may have heard our We Do Not Care Club show last year, where we learned to stop apologizing for who we are and to live freely and stop caring about what people think. We here at Red Lips hope that this show gives you, our listeners, the courage and the boost and confidence to not let age or time stop you from living your dreams. Even if you bloomed later in life, because not everyone peaks in their 20s. Right, ladies?
Right.
So this show is the Late Bloomers Club, a show dedicated to the women who didn't arrive early, who didn't have the straight path, but who are still becoming. So welcome to the Late Bloomers Club show.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. I'm very excited to do this show because we're all relatively around the same age. Mm-hmm. Some of our friends have already turned 50.
Yeah.
I'm turning 50 this year.
Same
with beautiful Monica, and Maritza's the baby.
Yes, my time is next year.
Our time is next year. But I think it's safe to say that we're all knocking the door, right?
Right.
And just to share something personal here, we had gone out to dinner last year to celebrate Maritza's birthday, actually. And that day we all showed up. We had a really good time. And Jessica was there. And I remember talking to her and I was like, Jess, I'm having a really hard time with, turning 50. And she was like, really? And we had like this really deep conversation. And I've been struggling with it for a while now. I don't want to say anxiety or panic attacks. I wouldn't go that far, but it's just this thing like, what have I achieved? What have I done? Do I have time to still fulfill my dreams? Can I still have dreams at this age? Can I still dress a certain way? Is it okay for me to still have long hair? I mean, the crazy stuff that was going through my mind. And then I've taken some time to kind of like self-reflect and really preach more about like, I preach a lot on this show. I think we all like try and give out positivity, but I won't do it for me.
That's common.
Yeah. I think we all do that.
Yeah. And I was like, you're such a hypocrite. Like you're here telling people who listen to you, your friends and family, but then when it comes to you, you're doing the total opposite. So I say you have to really start
taking your own advice.
Yeah. And I started to do that. And I'm going to tell you, it's working because I wake up now and I like myself more and I feel sexier and I feel, not to make it like an outer beauty thing, because that is like so far down what matters to me at this point too. But I mean, like I think about can I still do these things? And I'm like, well, I may not be able to get exactly that, but damn, I can get close.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to do this show, because I think all of us have those moments.
Yeah, I definitely had that moment turning 40. And I don't think that I saw the light until 45.
Wow, 5 years.
It took a couple years to get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't mind sharing, if it's not too personal, what were some of your thoughts?
It was just kind of all over the place. I felt like I had wasted a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's not a good word. Not like I felt like I'm like I woke up and I was just kind of like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
To show for myself. And it was a lot of that. And I was going through some depression as well, just sad all the time. And I think also part of it was that I had a little premenopausal symptoms starting and I didn't know about it until a couple of years after, talking about it or hearing other people talk about it around me. And then I started to figure out, I'm like, oh, that could be a lot of what I'm going through.
Like the symptoms.
Yeah, the symptoms. But yeah, it almost felt like I was in the dark. And, at some point down the line, I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I thinking like this?
Yeah.
And I finally kind of like the cloud just went away.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, okay, we started to feel better. I was thinking to myself, like, I'm crazy. I've raised my family. I've raised my children, you know, like, look at everything that I have. I've built this, you know, it wasn't so much, you know, career, success, you know, money, like, you know, I'm not famous, but you know what I mean? Like I started to have a different perspective.
A different outlook?
Yeah, a different outlook on everything and on myself as well, because, you know, I did start feeling a certain way about myself. But now, I mean, yeah, I'm turning 50 next year, but my mentality is completely changed from then until now.
In what way?
I'm just more positive. I feel good. I'm not like, you know, I have aches and pains and, you know, but I'm embracing everything that's happening to me, basically.
I think for me at 47 hit me like a Tonka truck.
Yeah.
And 47 was really hard. I would say 47, 48 and partial. Yeah, 2 years, 47, 48 were really dark, really dark.
I know what you mean.
Really dark. And then I had the epiphany where I was like, well, okay, I may not have achieved a lot of my own personal dreams and aspirations and things that I thought I could still do. Because when you're in your 20s, you think anything is possible. And that's the beauty of youth, right? But then once you start entering your mid and late 40s and life hits you and you're like, wow, I wasn't even able to get close to that. Some do, and congratulations if that's your story. But for me, my world did a 180 and the things that I never thought I even wanted is what I got. Right. You know? And then I started thinking to myself, okay, you really need to snap out of this because just like you just shared right now, I built something special too. Yeah. You know, now I have a second act.
Right. Exactly.
And now I look different. I feel different. I have a little, you know, like, what are those little wrinkles you get under your neck? They're starting to show. There's something that women call here. It starts to like get a little wrinkly underneath your chin and your neckline.
Is it a?
It's not the gobble gobble. That's a double chin.
Is it a turkey? The turkey thing? Are you talking about?
No, it's just like
mine is a double chin.
It's not a double chin. It's just like it starts to like get a little bit more wrinkly underneath your
fine lines.
And I noticed it the other day, and I was like, oh fuck, you know. So I have changed physically. Right. The other day, my hip started hurting, and I didn't do anything. Yeah. And I was like, why does my hip hurt? So I think that's what I've been grappling with. You know, that my body can't do.
Your body's changing.
My body's changing physically.
You feel different.
I feel different. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't like this shit. Right. You know, but that's my new normal. Yeah. So I'm trying to take care of myself more. You know, I walk more. I'm still lifting weights. I'm drinking less alcohol. I'm trying to, you know, use my brain more, be around I'm more selective. Like I was so social. Do you remember how I was always a social butterfly. Now I'm like, no, I know who my people are. And it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
I think that's the beauty of getting older also, with the changing of how you feel. Yeah. And mentality wise also, I think you start to gain a little bit more clarity. One thing that I did struggle with at that time as well was the fact that I had started a business. So I was freelancing for a lot, you know, like printers. And I don't want to say that I failed. I just made choices that didn't put my business as my priority. I chose my children as my priority. So because I did that, my business didn't, you know, it didn't grow. And I continued doing that. And, you know, as time goes by, I was a graphic designer. You know, now that we're, you know, years later, everything has changed. And there's not really a big industry for it right now with AI.
Too. Yeah, big time.
So I struggled with that for a very long time, actually. And just recently, I closed it. I just closed it.
Wow.
Yeah, I shut it down.
Stupid
I
question.
finally
How did that
was
make
like,
you feel?
Good.
Really?
But many years of struggling with the thought of it, because every year I said to myself, I need to do it. I should do it. And then I struggled with the thought of doing it because I'm like, but it was kind of like a part of me. But I said, no, I'm doing it. And I finally did it. It feels good. The funny thing is, one of my clients reached out to me the other day, and I was almost there, like, you know, I could still do the job, but I said, no, I'm not going to. You know, I told them, look, I have your files. I will make the changes for you and send you the file. But unfortunately, I can't print it for you anymore because I closed my business. So he was like, okay, no problem. You know, I mean, I did send his file, but I was like, that's it. I'm not printing.
You shut the door.
I shut the door.
Of your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for you, because that's hard.
That was a struggle.
Yeah, that's
to come
that
to
was
terms
a
with.
Baby of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
just
get
go
it.
and walk away.
And walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And not feel like a certain type of way about it.
Right.
After doing
exactly,
which is
I think that's why it took me so long because I was a little bit in denial. Yeah. So, but yeah, changes.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like they say, when we start reaching this stage in our life, we've already navigated failure. Not to say that this was a failure, but we've navigated loss. We've navigated changes.
Exactly.
We've navigated things that didn't work out the way we thought they were.
Right.
But now, okay, what's next? You know? And I think that's what I'm trying to figure out also for myself. My daughters are adults. I've had career pivots as well, but I still feel young. I know I'm not young, but I also know I'm not elderly. It's that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And
where you start to come
to terms,
or you start to realize that narrative that you grew up believing in is bullshit.
Yeah. Care to share what you mean by that?
We've always had a timeline. Like, you have to be married by this age and have kids by this age and be successful by this age or do this by this age. And you grow up and you're like, I still have time, you know, like I'm not.
You still have time, and life doesn't always work that way for everybody too.
And it doesn't work out for everyone. It's not a one size fits all thing.
It is absolutely not.
So you start to come to terms with that. Like, okay, so what? I didn't do that, or I'm moving on. I still have time to do something else.
Right.
You know, and once you start to realize that, you start to give less fucks about all that other
the timeline, this imaginary clock that you think you have. Yeah.
I mean, people right now are finding the loves of their lives and getting married in their 40s.
Having kids in their 40s.
Well, let me tell you, women now are having, it's the first time ever in history that women in their 40s are having babies more than teenagers.
Yeah.
We're the ones that are keeping the human race alive.
Yeah.
You know, which I find that fascinating, because teenage pregnancy when we were teenagers, that shit was all over the TV. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was like a thing. You know?
That was my fear.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to get pregnant.
You know,
like, no.
Teenage, and we knew a few young that got pregnant, you know. So that was definitely a thing. And now it's women in 45, 46, 40, you have people like Janet Jackson who had a baby at 50. Again, she's a celebrity, so she had like a lot of help and stuff. But listen, I just saw on TikTok this lady who got pregnant at 60 naturally. Wow. She was crying. She wasn't happy about it. She was like, holy shit, you know, it happens. It's rare.
Right.
But we're living longer too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You know, people back in the days, we've talked about this before in other programs. You know, people were passing away in their 60s and 70s. And you have people now dying in 95, 96. So if you put it in that perspective, 50 is pretty young still.
It is. Like I say, okay, so if I live to be 80, I still got 30 years.
Right.
Like what do I do? What can I do?
Yeah. Whatever you want. Yeah. And because you're coming in with clarity, you're coming in with better judgment.
Yeah.
You're coming in with
experience,
wisdom, knowledge. Yeah.
Dude, I just celebrated my wedding anniversary. I just celebrated, well, that's why I went to Italy and Spain. We were celebrating 25 years.
Wow.
And I'm like, I have spent 25 years with the same person, and what we have done in actually almost 30 years, because we were together like 4 years and change before we got married. But anyway, that's besides the point. I have lived a whole freaking life with this person. I have to do it all over again, plus perhaps a little more. And everything that we've done, you know, what I've done, what we've done, there's so much left to live.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying, if you're listening to us right now and you're about to turn 50, or you're 51 and 52 and you're in a dark place, please snap out of it, because you have so much time left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just have to take care of your body a little differently.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would tell my 20-year-old self, right? Like, take your health and nutrition a lot more seriously.
Serious now, right?
Yeah.
For later.
Because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
If you can't move, then you can't live that life.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
you can live.
Yeah. So if we have any 20, 30-year-olds out there listening to us, take care of yourself now for later.
Yeah. And but see, that's the thing about Gen Z. Gen Z is really good with that.
Yeah,
they
are.
don't really drink a lot. I mean, they may smoke pot and do other things, but that's a different subject. But I think for the most part, they're really into skincare. I didn't use skincare. I put baby oil on my face and roast it on the beach for 3 hours,
Yeah.
They're a different breed.
También too, there's a lot more information available at
Accessible for them.
Yeah.
right away.
It's true.
Because I'm always sending stuff to my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Look at this. Look at
neurologist said this.
Right.
Like, look, do
It's
this.
true.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, they do have. I mean, they have a computer in their pocket at all
Right.
times. I mean, we had
didn't have that.
beepers,
Yeah.
with codes,
Right.
So that you're right. That does make a big impact. But yeah, definitely take care of your body. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're smoking cigarettes, maybe you should stop. If you're drinking a lot of alcohol, maybe minimize it. Go for walks. If you don't want to go to the gym, that's not your thing. Fine, go for a little brisk walk. Maybe carry some little light weights. I have these little weights that I keep on my couch when I sit down at the end of the night and I watch a little movie or a little Netflix or whatever. And I just pick up the dumbbells while I'm watching TV. Let me tell you, I wake up in the morning and my arms are burning.
Right.
Like little things like that, trying to eat healthier, move your body, and be around people that you want to be around.
Yeah.
Because if you got negativity around you, let me tell you, the stress of that, forget it. That adds zero quality to your life, and the anxiety is just not worth it.
Yeah. Set those boundaries.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the beauty also about turning this age, is that the zero fucks button is pushed.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I remember listening to Taraji P. Henson. Somebody
love
asked her that
her.
question, like, what did you learn at 50 that you would tell me in my 30s? And that was her main thing.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't.
I remember watching that.
I saw that. Yeah.
And she was like, in your 40s, you say it, but you don't really mean it. You still kind of give a fuck. But once you hit that 50, you really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so true.
You're asking yourself different questions at this age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You spend so
That's a
much
no.
time trying to please others.
Right.
And, or what are they going to think? Or what if? And
Right.
no, stop that. You're living a happier life. You're in a better mood. Your peace is, important.
Yes.
Very important. My piece is very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's why also a lot of people, their friendships and their dynamics and their circles also start to change, and people start to leave your life, or maybe they're not in your life anymore because you don't have things in common anymore, or you had a falling out, or words were exchanged. And I think what you can say to yourself, if that's causing you any type of pain or sadness, because it happens a lot more common than people think. Jessica was the one that told me this a few years ago. She says, appreciate the person that was in your life for the seasons that they were in it, what they meant to you, the happiness that they brought into your life, and wish them well, and walk away with peace.
Yeah.
And only wish them happiness, because we evolve. If I still was the same person that I was when you met me, Monica, right? We've known each other a really, really
Very
long
long time.
I would say I'm still a humorous person and things of that nature. But if I was still the same person that you met when we were 15 years old, I think you would not be friends with me. I don't think you could be, because how can a 49-year-old woman who's gone through everything that you've gone through still be friends with someone that's mentally acting like she's still
Right.
that way? We have to evolve. We have to grow. We have to change. So sometimes family, marriages, family members, best friends, they fall off because that person you're becoming no longer fits in their world.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That took me a very long time to realize and to accept, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
It's a tough thing too, especially if you're in a marriage like that.
Yeah.
Or in a relationship with that person.
Divorce is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never gone through it, but I'm a child of divorce. I've been around a lot of people that have gotten divorced, nasty divorces, admirable divorces. We're like, wow, they're like still friends.
Right.
You know, people who divorce, there's all types of divorces. And you always think, I'm never going to be able to recover from this. But you do.
Yeah.
It may take years, but you will recover. And part of that recovery is figuring out what's your second act.
Yeah.
And that's why you see people change. They change their hair color. They join the gym. They drop 20 pounds. They're like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then they'll be like, oh, well, why didn't you do that while we were married? You know, you were unattractive and overweight when we were married. And then as soon as we got divorced, you got hot. And I've seen that. I've seen people say things like that on social media. And the responses are always like, because you were so toxic that you literally were making me so depressed and so sick, I couldn't even see myself as being able to do that. And as soon as I left you, I did it for me, not for you.
Right.
I was like, what a great response. So if hopefully that's not something you're going through, but if it is, believe me, that's going to be something that's just for you. I think it's very powerful.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen women in their 50s that are in the best shape of their lives.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen pictures of them when they were teenagers and what they look like now. And I'm like, how the hell do you look better at 51 than you did when you were 16?
I think, too, you start to realize the doctor, she said, the muscle mass you have now, you're not going to get any more. Like, you have to take care of what you have.
What you have.
And keep it fit, because you're not going to get more muscle mass. What you have that's it.
That's it.
And I was like, okay.
No, that's facts. So that's why we're saying, like, we're trying to be positive, but we're also trying to keep it real.
Yeah.
Like, you only have one body. And if you're, you know, in your mid 40s or tapping into 50, this is crunch time. This is the time for you to say, I need to step it up. I need to, you know, really look at my nutrition, really exercise. If you smoke or drink, maybe bring that down a notch, especially the smoking. I would say smoking, that's one thing. If you could try and just stop it altogether. Yeah, I think smoking is definitely numero uno. But, you know, it's totally possible to reinvent yourself at 50 or to fall in love again in 50 and get married at 50 and have children and build a family and all those things. There's a lot of people traveling alone in their 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
A lot of that.
Because people can't go with them or nobody wants to go with them.
Right.
And they're like, I've always wanted to go to this country and nobody wants to go with me or nobody can afford to go with me. And they're like, I'm going to go by myself.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it.
The bravery that it takes for you to do solo traveling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I've never done it. And I'm like, I don't know if I have the courage to do it, but maybe I would.
I think you would.
Yeah.
If you have bambinos in the car, you may want to lower down the volume. So I wanted to talk about something that has been really taboo for women. At least I know growing up, people didn't talk about it. It was something that was like, oh, don't, you can't say that. Or you hush, or you went into the room and you whispered it. But it was about sex, you know. And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, sex as an older woman can be fantastic. Sex as an older woman can be very powerful. I know that for younger people, you're still trying your insecurities. You don't know what to do. You're still trying to figure things out. Maybe you're not that vocal. But what if you're a woman in your 40s and 50s and you've never had an orgasm? That is very real, because did you know that 1 out of every 10 women have never, ever experienced an orgasm? 1 out of every 10 women, not even once, okay? And even among women who have, only about 7 out of the 10 say that they experience it regularly, even in their marriages and in committed relationships.
Right.
So I think that it's an important conversation to have, even though we're talking about being in your 50s, because I saw a movie one day. Mike went to play golf, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to stay home. And I usually play music. I limpio la casa, I do some laundry, I cook dinner or whatever. But I was like, hey, let me put a movie on. And I put it on, and it was with Emma Thompson. I love Emma. I always try to watch all her movies because I'm just a really big fan. And I didn't recognize the movie, and it was called Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the movie. No idea what the movie was about. Just put it on because it was Emma Thompson. Well, let me tell you, I was like blushing, turning red. I was like, oh my God, because The movie is about a woman in her 60s who had never had an orgasm and had been married to the same man for like over 40 years and never was able to have an orgasm with her husband. I think every woman should see this movie. You know how that book came out? The one about the 10 Shades of Grey. Is that what it's called?
50 Shades.
50 Shades. I didn't even read the book. I never read it. But it was like a phenomenon and everybody, and then they did the movies and whatever.
Yeah.
I did see the movies, but I didn't read the books and stuff. I think that this one is even better because it's real. It's not like kinky shit. It's about a woman who's saying like, I loved my husband loved me. We just got into this cycle. He would do what he needed to do. And then that was it. And that's how I thought it was always. I just thought that's how sex was. And she ends up, I don't want to destroy the movie for you, but she ends up, finding somebody that's willing to help her with that. And it's so tastefully done. And I ended up like feeling emotional at the end of the movie because I started thinking to myself, like, imagine if you're in that situation, whether it's a sexless marriage or a marriage that you've never been able to have an intimate moment like that with someone that you love. This is a real problem. Yeah. Doesn't Eve talk about this in that show? What was the name of that show again that we did? Big Clit Energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to listen to that show, you should.
It's called The Orgasm Gap.
The Orgasm Gap. So we tap into that too. Mm-hmm. But I did not know that 1 out of 10 women in their whole lives, and specifically in this age of 40s and 50s, have never experienced that.
Yeah. I watched a Netflix documentary on that, and it was a little surprising to see because they interviewed different women. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
It's an interesting,
because some of them, as old as they were, like some would say that they didn't even know, like the clitoris, like they don't, where is it? You know what I mean? Like it's like
they didn't know where it is.
They didn't know. They knew, like they thought it was this thing, and she's like, no, it's a complete organ, and she's showing them. Yeah. She's like, oh, okay.
Listen, I did a little research on this, and I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not. It's just to me like, wow, people, like so many people don't know. Like a lot of women don't even realize that when they urinate, they're urinating from a completely different area. Yeah. They think it's coming out of like, the main hole. And they think that that's where the pee-pee comes out. And I'm like, wow. Like they don't realize that that's not where our pee-pee comes out from.
Right.
It's because the shame to talk to your daughters about these things. Men talk to their sons. Okay, this is what you do. This is how you put a condom on. This is they do it. Yeah. But we don't. What do we say? Don't get pregnant. Take care of yourself. But we don't really go into specifics because my mother never talked to me about my period.
Right. That was like a no.
Yeah.
I remember. I thought I was dying. Mm-hmm. I was 13 in the bathroom crying. My mother gets home from work. And I was like, I don't know how to tell my mother that I'm dying. And you know what she told me? Oh, it's okay, honey. You're a woman now. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's how it was back then.
That was the conversation. So no wonder there's so many women in their 40s and 50s today that probably still don't realize it is not normal if you've never experienced an orgasm and you're in a long committed relationship. It's okay to tell your husband what you like. How to touch you.
Yeah.
Mainly in heterosexual relationships.
It is. Mm-hmm. Because there's a shame. There's a shame. Like if it starts to feel good and then he stops. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so graphic. I didn't think the show was going to go this way. But I'm a little inspired because it makes me sad to know that there's so many women who are afraid to maybe tell their husband, no, don't stop. Keep going. I like that. That feels good. In their mind, they're like, no, that's embarrassing.
Or somebody may not know.
Right.
They may not know what they like.
And if you don't tell your partner what you like, how can you expect him to do it?
Right.
To you. It's very complex. There's many different reasons why maybe women don't communicate like this.
Well, that's why that episode is good to listen to, the Big Clit Energy, because she talks about that and how you got to get to know your body first.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if you've never had an orgasm, mm-hmm. like how are you going to know what's going to give you an orgasm?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just don't think that you should be entering the second act of your life this way if this is happening to you. You shouldn't be. Maybe, if you're a teenager in your early 20s, I get it. Not maybe I get it. But if you're about to to turn 50 and this is still a reality for you especially in a marriage, in a committed relationship, no, girl, like make a change. Make the change. Like have the conversation, be like, you know what, and work on it. No,
Your face.
Because
like, damn it.
no, you guys, I'm telling you, or watch that movie with your husband. It could be something as simple as, I'm going to put a movie on and put that Emma Thompson movie, Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. That movie is going to really impact not only you, but perhaps, or open up a conversation.
And for the love of God, do not watch porn.
Yeah,
that is not realistic.
This movie is not like, I'm not saying no. This movie is a beautiful movie and is tastefully done. It just made me realize there are a lot of women out here in these streets that are married in heterosexual long-term relationships and have never had an orgasm with their husband.
That's sad.
Make the change.
Okay, Michael.
I'm going to go see the movie.
Yeah.
I do. I want to see it. It looks pretty good.
It does.
You know, there are a lot of examples, celebrities, artists, authors, all types of people who we can talk about right now as examples of people who were late bloomers or people who are advocates. Like I don't know about you ladies, but I love Kate Winslet. I've watched almost all her movies, but she just turned 50 last year. And she is a huge advocate of being natural, not getting plastic surgery, being okay with your body the way God gave it to you, being okay with not trying to look 30 when you're 50, embracing your wrinkles, embracing your sexuality. Kate Winslet is just, to me, like in the forefront of acceptance. And I saw this video of her I think it was on Instagram. I'm going to play it for you. It's just like a 15-second video, but just the way she expressed herself was so inspirational to me.
I did it and I'm 50. You know, you can do things for the first time in life at the age of 50, girls. Yeah. Get out there. So we have a first-time production designer, a brilliant woman named Alison Harvey, who'd been on-set props for years. And I thought, why isn't she designing? And I keep hearing this woman's name. She must be amazing. I thought, I bet she had a family and she just got stuck in needing to find work. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. I said, okay, come on, girl. It's your turn now.
I love when she said, come on, girl. It's your turn now. Mm-hmm. She has tons and tons of interviews, videos on social media where she's talking about embracing everything about yourself as you age and not to be ashamed of it. And this is going to sound like a crock of bullshit, but earlier in this podcast or this episode, I admitted to you ladies that I had the wrinkles on my neck and I felt like really shitty about that, you know? And I started watching her videos and she kind of has it too, you know, and she was, and it made me feel good.
Right.
It didn't make me feel bad anymore. That's the power of other women sharing their insecurities and being vulnerable, like the three of us are, because that's what we're being raw and honest. But how many women, hopefully, knock on plastic, are listening to us right now and saying, fuck, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
I hope that we can be that for you.
Yeah.
You know, look at all the examples like for Vera Wang.
Yeah, she's definitely a great example.
Yeah, she is.
A late bloomer because she didn't start in fashion until like 40. She didn't start designing until 40.
That's crazy.
And her
40.
her early life, she was a like teenagers, she was a figure skater. And
I didn't know she was a figure skater.
Yeah, like teens and her early age to her teens, she was a figure skater. And then after she graduated college, she got a job at Vogue as a journalist and editor. And she worked there for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because right now correct me if I'm wrong, she's like in her 70s right now. And she looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, she was one of their youngest editors there.
Yeah.
So she did really well there. And she was there for 17 years. But they passed her by for a promotion of editor-in-chief. And she was not happy about it. I mean, you can imagine being at a company for 17 years and you don't get that promotion that you've been wanting.
This was at Vogue?
At Vogue.
I didn't know this.
And then she left there and went to Ralph Lauren. And while she was there, Ralph Lauren, I think she was roughly there for like 2 years. But she got engaged and to be married. And as she was looking for wedding dresses, She was like, there was not enough options out there. She didn't like a lot of things that were out there that were available for her. And she decided to design her own wedding dress. And it's all history from there.
And her dresses are
I
have 3 of her, not wedding dresses, but regular dresses. They're breathtaking.
Yeah. She opened up her own bridal store and eventually started selling her designs, which became iconic.
Yeah, iconic.
Yeah, almost every celebrity wears. That's what they wear.
Yeah. At 40.
At 40. That's incredible. Well, that's a little bit how I feel about Julia Child, because you ladies know I like to cook. Like, that's my thing. I love to cook.
Yeah.
And I've watched the movies that were made about her and the series that have been made about her. And it was on HBO. It's called Julia. It was really good. But anyway, she started writing her book along with some of her girlfriends. And she was denied. It took such a toll on her life to write this, the book that changed the cooking world forever. And finally, someone decides to take a chance on her. She gets a book agent. They publish the book. She revolutionizes the whole cooking industry. And at the age of 50, she was the first person ever to get on TV and cook. So every person that you see today that's on TV cooking owes it to Julia Child. And she did it at 50 years old. And I actually get a little emotional thinking about that, because I'm like, do you understand? Especially back in those times, 50 was considered very old.
Right.
Versus now, 50 is still not considered too old. And the bravery that it takes for her to go on TV and say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make some chicken.
And you're going to watch me.
And you're going to watch me make the chicken.
Well, that's like Martha Stewart. She went from being like a stockbroker.
Yeah.
In her 30s.
She changed a few times.
Yeah.
Did she? I don't know too much about Martha.
Yeah, she started the whole cooking, and well, not just cooking, but homemaking. It was all like homemaking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DIY this, baking that. And she was already in her 40s when she started that.
Yeah.
Then magazine, and that's it. It went from there. And I know she got arrested and she went to jail, but even after that didn't stop her. She came out and she was like,
she became friends with Snoop Dogg after that.
She came out stronger after that, for sure.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot of people we can look. I mean, Toni Morrison didn't write her first book until she was like 40. Viola Davis, you is kind, you is smart, you is important. She, I think we can all say that she's probably one of the best actresses of our era right now. And she was not given parts. She was refused. She kept on, and she was relentless. And at 50, she won an Oscar. So I hope that in us giving you these little examples and maybe saying, oh, those are celebrities. Well, they weren't celebrities. They weren't born celebrities. They're not Nepo babies. These are people who believed in themselves, who worked hard to achieve what they wanted, and they attained their goals through hard work and dedication. It's not going to be easy for you to achieve what you want, but you have to start somewhere. And if it's today, then I hope it's today.
I mean, think about it. I understand that people can get a little discouraged, but you have to kind of change your perspective a little bit and think about everything that you've been through, whether it's been good or bad, just the wisdom that comes from that, the experience that comes from that. That's what you bring here today. Like who I was just talking about, Vera Wang. I mean, she started out, as an editor at a company, writing for somebody else, and she got redirected. You know what I mean? She's shopping for a wedding dress, and all of a sudden she's designing, it's just, she was redirected, but she's bringing years of experience. Like we were saying, you just, the clarity and the judgment and all of that, you bring all that with you to where you are today. And, you could do anything, start over again, reinvent yourself.
You're absolutely right, Maritza. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad that I'm excited because I feel like this is a show that the three of us are like really chiming in a lot.
I mean, I can't say that I have a direction right now because I'm still trying to figure it out, but I am excited to, to see what my, 30 more years are going to look like.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that is. I have time to try new things, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah. Well, I've already shared this story with you ladies for a long time, so it's not like you're not going to know what I'm talking about, but I've never brought it up in one of our shows, and I hope you don't mind, but I feel ready. But you both know that for a good portion of these last 2 years, I've been writing a book. Right. And I finished it, and I've been trying to find an agent.
And I'm so proud of you, by the way.
I know you guys have been the best.
That right there is...
Thank you. And here's the thing. The girl that I was in my 20s and 30s would have been like, I can't do that.
Right.
Here's the vulnerable part, because I'm a college dropout and I didn't do very well in school. There's many reasons why I didn't. But I realize it's not because I'm stupid or dumb. It's just other things. But anyway, not to get emotional here, but it's just something that I thought was not attainable. It was just like, it's me, right? Never. I'm very proud of it. It's taken a good 2 years of my life, and the courage to believe in myself and to say, no, I'm going to do this, and I've been trying to find, I could publish it myself, but I don't want to. I really want to find an agent. So I've been very vulnerable, sending to strangers, people that don't know me. And hi, my name is Jasmine. And I'm sending query letters and I'm sending prologues, and I'm sending the first chapter. And many, 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 many times I don't even get a response. I'm just left on read or ignored. I'm not even worthy of a response. But then I got a response, and yes, I was still rejected in the response, but it was a response.
Right.
And I was laughing, and I was like, Mike, I got a response. And Mike was like, oh my God. He was like, no, he's not going to do shit. But he responded. He was like, oh, but at least he didn't ignore you.
Exactly.
Right. The girl of 20 years ago would have given up. I would have never even continued to try. And I definitely would have been like low self-esteem. And I'm like, no, Jay, keep going. You're gonna get an agent. Yeah. I know that maybe that's
you have a more positive outlook on it. Yeah.
Yes. And if it happens when I'm 60, then let it happen when I'm 60. There's no time limit that I'm putting on it. I'm just not giving up. That's very personal for me to discuss. I've discussed it with my best friends, but never on any of my social media platforms that I like to do, or even here on Red Lips. But
saying it out loud does something too.
Saying it out loud does something too. Thank you for saying that. And that's what I'm trying to say. Find the courage within yourself to go and say, it's not too late for me. You want to get in the best shape of your life? Start today.
Right. And it doesn't have to be anything big or dramatic. It could be very small steps.
If you want to take that trip to Italy and you're like, I don't think I can. Yes, you can. Make it happen. Take that trip. You want to start your business. Look into it. Make it happen. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not trying to be funny. But if you've never had an orgasm and you want to have an orgasm, have an orgasm. I'm trying to prove different points here. Right. It's like, you have to start today. Today is the day for you to say, this is my second act and I have to do something about it right now.
Well, I want to say there's data that shows the age 50 to 59 dominates the entrepreneur landscape, representing 35% of small business owners, followed by those aged 40 to 49. So together, these age groups account for about 60% of new small businesses.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's why I love that we're doing factual things, because one thing is taking something out of your ass and saying, oh yeah, do it. And one thing is saying, no, I can prove.
Seriously.
Almost half of women entrepreneurs are between the age of 40 and 55. So I don't know if you know the Huffington Post.
Yes. Yeah.
Arianna Huffington. Yeah. She didn't start until in her mid 50s. When she launched the Huffington Post.
Harry Potter.
How old was J.K. Rowling? And she wrote that book in a coffee shop.
That's right.
Would buy one cup of coffee because that's how poor she was.
Single mom.
Single mom. So they wouldn't kick her out. And she wrote that book in there.
Yeah.
And she got rejected by everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody rejected her because they said that this is too dark for kids. And
how old was she? I'm sorry.
Let's ask our IT guy, our Garcon.
What do we call him?
Garcon. How old was J.K.?
I know she was like 40s. Maybe.
No, she was young. She was young. But it's okay. J.K. Rowling was 25 years old when she wrote.
But when she finally, when it finally
Published.
All right, here goes. How? Garthon. How old
Chatty.
is J.K.?
Chatty.
Okay.
No.
Not Chatty. She started writing young, but she became successful. Like people know who she was. Like Harry Potter became at a later age.
32.
Okay, I'm wrong.
No, she was young, but it still took her. That's 7 years.
Yeah.
She had years of people telling her no, and most people give up.
Yeah.
I remember reading a Reddit story about a guy who turned 50 and he was like, you know what? I'm making a 5-year plan.
Okay.
And his 5-year plan at 50 was to earn a master's in accounting,
Okay.
to become a CPA, to get in the best shape of his life, and to run marathons. And sure enough, by the time he was 55, he accomplished it all.
Wow.
Nice.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
When I read that, I was a little like, wow, you're running at 50?
Yeah.
Your knees don't hurt?
Yeah, but that's drive.
But
That's relentless.
it can be done.
Drive.
Yeah, it can be done. Absolutely.
It can be done.
It can be done. Yeah, I know someone who just started their, the food trucks. It's a gelato that she's selling gelato, and she just started her own business.
And she's in her 50s?
Yeah, she's our age.
Wow.
See?
You see?
Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it.
And I think at this age, you have more, again, knowledge, experience, and patience,
Yeah.
right? I think so you'll probably end up being more successful in the long run because you have all those things to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
All that experience.
All that experience.
And don't be afraid if your circle actually gets smaller too, because a smaller circle just could also mean that just you have the right people around you that are going to support you also in your dreams. Because I'm still a person who dreams, and you guys are like so supportive. You're always like, of course you could do, and that's a beautiful thing. And I hope that I can be that for you too, because I believe in you guys too, and you beautiful ladies, and women friendships are very important. And to our listeners, I hope that this show has been impactful, inspirational, motivational, that it's made you feel good about yourself. If you just fell in love for the very first time, congratulations. If you're getting married late, congratulations. If you're having your baby right now and you're an older lady, congratulations. If you're a mother and you're 50 with little kids, you did it. You're a great mom. Congratulations. If you started your own business, congratulations. And if you're thinking about making a huge change in your life, go for it. And when you don't believe in yourself, listen to the show again, because we believe in you.
Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode.
We will be dropping an episode every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. No, like seriously. Subscribe now.
So just chill to the next episode. Follow us on Insta and TikTok.
Hasta la próxima.